Hello, everyone. Welcome to the premiere of Oracle Live TV. We're so excited that you're here. Thank you all for joining us. And if you're joining us now, if you're watching on a watch party, be sure to comment that you're watching on a watch party because we want to know that. If you're on a page like you found yourself on someone else's page and you found a link, but you're not sure you're in the room, it's really important that you follow the link below the watch party. It should be pinned at the top. The reason for that is we want your questions. So know that we're about to pull on some of our guests, our amazing guests who are sitting in the green room offside. They're partying like rock stars because that's what they are. And as we pull them up and we finish our guest interviews and questions, we're going to open up for your questions. But the great thing is you can start asking questions now. My lovely assistant, Jen, is off screen and she's actually there to help you get onto the screen at the very end of the show. So the way that we're going to work this today is that we're going to have our guests come on, and at the end we will make sure we save some time to get as many questions as we can. But don't worry, because if you don't get your question answered on the screen, we will definitely get in touch with you and let you know how you can be a guest on our next show. Also, as that is a point of what we're talking about right now, I would like to share that one of the things that I found over the last 25 years of doing this work is that when I do this in groups, like this, even though we're online, like this, what happens is that a person who asks a question either on the screen live or even in the comments in the chat log, sometimes that's your answer. So my encouragement is to stay all the way through the end, because you never know when the Oracle is going to whisper in your ear a message that's made specifically for you. So without further ado, and so that we can just jump right into all the great juiciness of these amazing women, I'm so excited, all women tonight too, that we have with us tonight. We have a very special guest. I'm really thrilled to bring her to you guys. Her name is Lindsay Anderson, aka One Click Lindsay of Traffic and Leads. And I'm really excited because I met Lindsay a few years ago, and we were like Facebook fanning girl each other, like from distant places. And then we finally connected and it was so amazing as I expected. And so I'm really excited to have her here to share what she does and to hopefully answer a question for her from the Oracle. So here we go. Lindsay, I'm going to bring you on board. And as soon as she comes on, there she is.
I'm so excited.
I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like Sure. What are you up to? What is great in your life and your business?
Yeah. So hello, everyone. As she said, I'm One Click Lindsay. So I am a digital marketing expert, and I run a digital marketing agency called Traffic and Leads. And we help people generate traffic and leads through SEO, pay-per-click, Facebook ads, all the things that you guys have heard with digital marketing. That's what my agency does. And we offer 3 different ways to help you. First is a whole bunch of free videos. If you go join my page at One Click Lindsay, you'll see all my free videos. Number 2, I have a done with you program if you can't afford an expensive consultant like myself to do all this stuff for you. I have a done with you program where we help you. And then of course we do all done for you services.
I love it. And she's right. When it comes for done for you, I have been blessed to work with Lindsay and her crew, and she is incredible gifts and talents, and her team is so professional and kind and generous of spirit when you don't know what you're doing, and they help you figure it out. So I can't recommend you enough, by the way.
Wow, thank you so much.
And I have already received such great experience working with your team with the Alexa app. So if you have any interest in smart hubs, definitely hook up with Lindsay. The other thing I wanted to give you a shout out for is you do have a book, and that's actually how we got connected. I read your book. Yes. Why don't you go ahead and hold it up for everybody's thing and see it?
I will. This is a book I released last year. It's called The Click Technique. Now, if you're looking for some super advanced digital marketing strategies, this book is not for you. This book is how to build a strong digital marketing foundation, very simple steps, and what you guys need to do as business owners. And it's been a bestseller on Amazon for 6 months. I sell, just yesterday, over 700 people downloaded my book. So it's super incredible. Crazy, and I love it.
And it's, I'm going to say it's super easy, it's super easy and actionable to read. So I got off the plane. So here's a true story. Ready for this true story? I was like, oh, you know what? I saw that book that Lindsay has. So I downloaded it on the plane, like as I'm like, okay, this is so, don't anybody from the FHA like get on my case. But as they're like closing the door, I remembered. And so I'm like, okay, I can get it downloaded. I'm like, download. And as the stewardess is like walking up the aisle, do we call them that anymore?
Not me. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think you're allowed to call them that anymore.
Flight attendant. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
That was the Oracle going, you don't call them that. I'm sorry. Yeah. The flight attendant was walking down the aisle at me, and I'm like, download. I'm like, la. And then all of a sudden it downloaded. I'm like, yes, awesome. And I literally read it straight through until I got back off the plane. And as soon as I was done, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. So there was like, I just want to give you accolades for that, because it's concise, it's clear, it's actionable. And like you said, if you're one of those busy entrepreneurs, which, hello, is that not every entrepreneur?
Everyone. Yeah, that's what we do.
If you're like, okay, but I don't want to, because I know that's true too. Like, I don't want to some things. I love that your ability to do the done for you stuff is so accessible. So it's really great because you have that available to everybody. So let me ask you, Miss Lindsay, and I'm actually going to see if I can put you on all by yourself. What happens if I do that?
Oh, no.
We don't have that picture. That's weird. All right, we'll leave it like this. So what I was going to say is, why don't you tell me what your question is for the Oracle?
Okay, so this may not be specific enough, but I am currently, Oracle, in the middle of like a hiring situation. In order to scale my business, I need to find that perfect someone that can basically be checking my emails, someone that I can trust, someone that can help me just not be in my business so much and responding to all these things. And I'm just having a heck of a time. I don't know if that's specific enough. I've been on Indeed. I've been on 20 different interview calls, and I just cannot seem to find that person. Tell me where they're at.
Ooh, that's a good question, first of all. So I want to because I forgot. I'm just so excited to talk to you that I just jump right in without telling anybody else, like, what's happening? So how are you joining us? I They're like, what is going on? So I've invited Lindsay. She is an expert in her field, and because she's an expert and an entrepreneur, I wanted to bring her on to share what she's doing, but I also wanted to give her the opportunity, as I will with all of you, to ask a question of the Oracle. And I never really told you guys, for those of you who don't know what that means, what that is. So I want to back up for a second. I'm going to put a pin in Lindsay's question so that anybody who just joined us can go, what is happening here?
That's a good cliffhanger. You guys have to stay tuned.
I know. The answer.
Them.
So what does an Oracle do? So I am the Oracle. I actually was born this way, I say. And I found out that I was an Oracle when I was 14 years old, when I saw a full body apparition in my bedroom. And I got a download that I was here on purpose. And that's why I call myself the Oracle on purpose. And what I've learned over the years of getting these downloads, these divine downloads for clients, is that what she wants most is to help those people who are out there doing good in the world and having an impact get out of their own way. And to get all those little needly things that are happening. So whether they're frustrated or kind of suffering from shiny object syndrome with too many paths and not sure what direction to go, or they've reached a point in their business where they're really making good money, but they just don't feel fulfilled, to figure out how to align all of that with their real purpose in life. And I call it their unique life purpose. And so that's what I've been doing for 25 years. And what happened to me was in the end of last year, I went to France. And I went to the Mary Magdalene Caves, and I had a huge opening to an insight from the Oracle that I was here to really raise up and help open up the path for the light bearers that are coming out there. And by light bearers, light bearing entrepreneurs who are really trying to make a positive impact on the world, who are trying to do things differently, smarter, more ecologically. And so I love the chance to help them get through that confusion of whatever it looks like and find a balance and find that center. And so when I asked, because she literally told me thousands of people, I'm like, I'm just one person. How can I do this? And that's how Oracle Live TV was born. So it was the idea that I could come here, I could answer at least a few direct questions. We'd have an audience that we could have answer questions at the end of the call. And so when I bring a guest on, as I was saying earlier to these guys in the green room, know that the question that the person is asking may be your question too. So stick around, listen to the question and the answer. And as I mentioned before, you might actually get your very own message from the Oracle, even without me speaking to you directly. So
wow.
With all of that in mind, we're going to circle on back to Lindsay's question. So the first thing is a question for a question, which is just to clarify. So it sounds like right now you're already in this is what she's saying, in the throes of trying to search for someone, right?
Yes. And I have a lot of employees, and this one has to be really special.
Really special. Yeah.
Yes.
So here's the thing. And because I am a law of attraction master, I'm totally understanding that she's putting this out there. But for you, this is what she's showing me. You're doing this. Where is this person?
Yeah, that sums me up pretty well, actually.
And what she's saying is, relax. So there's just a tiny little switch that needs to happen, and that is that instead of being tense and kind of getting into that state where you are really, oddly enough, because if you ask yourself, if everybody looks around, right, if I'm holding my hands like this, everybody think about that. Can anything get in?
No.
And it's like we don't even realize we're doing it sometimes. It's like, oh, like that's what she's saying. Like nothing, you can't be given anything in that state. So really right now for you, it's this, and it makes sense to honor you, that it makes sense as busy as you are, you're recognizing how valuable that person really can be. And I also see that for you, that next big leap is really exciting. So it's kind of like this time, like
you're giving me chills right now.
I want to get there right now. And it's like, yes, but just like the kid at Christmas time who wanted that shiny red bicycle, she's saying to you, all you need to do is get so crystal clear in your mind. Like I know you're a mom, right? So you have kids.
Yes.
And you know how determined they can be when they have something in their mind? Like, no, I'm going to get that thing is going to happen. Like they just know it. And so with that surety of knowing and also really being clear, like when all these things happen, and so this is what I'm getting. When all these things happen that you're like, if I had that, if I had that assistant, that wouldn't happen. That she's like, yes. And so instead say, oh my gosh, when I have my assistant, it is going to be so nice when she takes care of that. Right? Because then you're giving space and you're also calling it in. You're calling it in, and then you're giving space for it to be clarified. And I think it was Lynn and I earlier, we'll talk about Lynn in a minute, but we were talking about clarity. Like sometimes we forget that we are all channels. So your ability to be clear about what you want is going to help allow that to come to you more easily. And so when you find yourself getting tense or frustrated with how it's not there yet, it's not Christmas morning yet, just know that is actually repelling it. And it's one of those things that's kind of like you have to tap yourself on the shoulder and go, hey, it's okay. Like it's going to be good. So my suggestion to you from a coaching perspective is ask yourself, what about that situation will be better when that assistant comes?
Okay. Makes sense.
And so start writing that list.
Okay.
Right. So like, oh my gosh, that's one thing she's going to do. And then she's going to do this. And it's going to be so great because every time you start looking at that list, you're going to be like, that's who I want. And then from the law of attraction, from the universe itself, as it's listening to you, it's like, oh, okay. I like it into this. I told a client once that, she's like, I wanted this. I said, yes, you asked for an apple. Do you know how many different varieties of apples there are in the world? Because every time you just say, I want an apple, the universe has to bring you an apple. But it's going to keep bringing you a bunch of different apples until you say, I want a Granny Smith. And it's like, oh,
fair enough. Yeah.
Thank you. I will go get you a Granny Smith apple. right? So she's saying to you, really right now, it's about relaxing into that, trusting that you have come so far already, you're not going to be let down. That thing you're trying to get to is doable, and that this person exists once you see her clearly. And
is that a hint?
I think that was me, because that wasn't me. I'm like, oh, okay. And that really right now it's going to happen. And we'll talk about time in a moment. So when I get a vision for someone, if it's in my sphere right here, it's usually within like the next 3 months. And there's the future and there's the past. So what I'm seeing is kind of this weird thing where it's wobbling between here and there. So it may be about like the clearer you get, the faster it's going to happen.
Yeah. When you put it that way, yeah, I may not be that clear.
Yeah. So the clearer you get, the faster it happens. And also not so much a caution, but well, yeah, because it's yellow and that means caution. A cautionary tale warning of you can continue to put plans into place knowing that she's going to be a part of that plan.
Okay. And
apparently it's a she, because I keep getting she.
You do keep going there, right?
Yeah. So I'm thinking like I almost see like an org chart and like who's doing what. And it's like, yeah, you can still say assistant doing that. And even if you do that now, she's doing that later. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. That does make sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Is that helpful?
Yeah,
awesome.
Actually.
So thank you for sticking in there when I had to go backwards to do something else. Thank you so much for being here. One of the great things, because she is my special guest tonight, Lindsay, will be sharing with you guys in the comments a special link for you guys so you can find out more about who she is and what she's doing. And like I said, I highly recommend that you check her out, either her DIY or her done for you. Either way, you can't go wrong. Thanks so much, Lindsay, for being here. I really appreciate you. All right.
Thank you so much, Leah. See you.
Oh, you too. All right. So, okay, we're going to do a little catch up here since I know I see some people coming on. Hi, guys. Oh, hi, Kathleen. Hi, Leanne. Thanks for being here. For those of you guys that are coming on like watch parties, again, I just want to let you know, make sure that if you want to ask a question at the end of the call, we'll be going over those. So be sure to click on the link that should be pinned at the top of your watch session, and it will bring you into our room. So you'll be here live with us, live in the studio audience, as they say. So to be part of the live studio audience, you do have to click on the link. Otherwise, your question is kind of out in Facebook land. So I want you to be able to ask your questions. I want to get to as many of those as I can at the end of the call. And I'm ready to take on our next amazing guest. Also someone I have a big, huge love for because of all that she does in the community and the world, really. And again, when I called the Oracle and said, how are we going to reach all of these people? I will tell you that this is one of the first people I talked to about how to get out there and talk to more people and how to bring this. And in fact, the very first version of this, the live in-person version of this, was done at her coffee shop, the Moonlight Coffee Shop. So I'm ready to bring on our next guest. Her name is Luna Adams. And as I mentioned, she is the owner of Moonlight Coffee Shop. She's also her own personal rock star because everything about her is 110%. I've never seen Luna do anything less. And the great thing is she does it with such grace and such poise and such love and heart for people that anybody that gets in her sphere is blessed and lucky to be there. So I am excited to have her here. I'm really excited to hear from you what you're up to and what you can share with the group. So why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me, other than being a huge Oracle fangirl. And by the way, Lindsay, oh my gosh, has been one of my business crushes for I can't even tell you how long. So the fact that I'm following up behind her, I'm hyperventilating a little bit.
I told you, it's a team of rock stars. Don't worry, everybody here. You guys are lucky.
It's awesome. I love it. So hi, yeah, I'm the owner of Moonlight Coffee House, and we are actually two really unique spaces. We are in Oak Grove, which is right outside of Portland, Oregon. And I opened the coffee shop and art gallery in our original location a year and a half ago now, in the middle of my breast cancer battle. So, you start a business in the middle of beating cancer because that's what you do, right?
That's what you do, yes.
I left a 10-year career in law to do what I absolutely love. And so our art gallery, we moved in August to a newer location, and we actually separated the business into two entities in their own spaces, and we tripled the square footage for each of the businesses. Because, 6 months in our original location, we were exploding at the seams. And so our retail and our art gallery we just signed our 47th artisan. So 47 artists under one roof, and everything is handcrafted and made local.
I was just going to say, yeah. And that's the other thing. All of it, right? All of it is local.
Exclusively. We don't work with anybody outside of the Portland area, which I have to admit sometimes is really hard to stick to that model because there is some incredible talent out there.
That just means more Moonlight Coffee Houses in the future.
Oh.
Be careful with the Oracle orders, right? Okay.
I know, right? The Oracle's back there laughing like.
We'll put a pin in that one over there. Go for it.
Oh, crap. I love it.
So right now you've got the two shops, and you do events there, and what else?
Oh goodness, we do all kinds of stuff. So art events. We also do free community events and free workshops. We do a ton of volunteer work. A huge part of our business model is giving back to our local community. So we do donation drives for different nonprofits. We had the Big Eagle Creek fire last year. We ended up with almost $10,000 in in-kind donations that came through our shop in 6 days. Yeah, I was 4 weeks post-surgery, and my shop I wasn't even finished with construction. We weren't even open to the public, and people from our community are amazing. So we take a lot of pride in being this sort of focal point.
The people in your community may indeed be amazing, but they rallied around you because you are amazing. So tell me, what question do you have tonight for the Oracle?
So going to try not to get emotional on this one. I have not gone public on this one yet, so this is kind of a big thing. Unfortunately, I am back to battling another round of cancer, and I have to go in for surgery again this next week. So a big part of it, the easy question would be, am I going to kick its ass? But I already know the answer is absolutely yes. So that goes without saying. My biggest fear right now, and my question is, how do I best support the people around me that are going to love me and support me so that the beautiful work and the changes that we are putting together can continue to maintain the stride that we've created while I take the opportunity and the time to be able to take care of me? Because I know that I can't fill others' cups while mine is empty, but I also need guidance on how to best continue to support them from a place of honoring myself.
Wow. Okay. So first, honestly, I do want to be sincere with you and say that one of the things that happens for me when the Oracle is working through me is that I get what I call full body flushes. So when you said you're going to kick cancer's ass, I just said it again. And so I'm getting the full body. I feel like that's a non-issue in the sense that if anybody should be afraid of Luna, it should be cancer, because fuck it.
Yes.
So, and so this may be my last broadcast, so I'm glad you're all here. But really, I want you to know that that's honestly, that was instant. So, and I also know that the emotions are real and they're raw, and you have every right to have all of those. And there's a saying I two sayings. One, I always say, I make people cry and they love me for it. Sorry. You've heard that one before? And also, really the truth is tears are lubrication for the transformation. And I don't have any problem with people crying. And I'm guessing that as we continue this broadcast, that may happen again if they allow me to come back, because I said the F word on the screen, but that's okay. And really the other piece of this is, as you were talking about this experience, the again, a bit of a caution, but also really there is this piece of you that is learning another layer of receiving. And the caution comes in being able to say to yourself that really, as amazing, incredible, powerful, beautiful, loving as you are, and I mean this with all sincerity, you're not all that.
Right.
Right? You're not the all end all be all to everybody else. And you don't have to be, nor should you be. Right. So there is this little piece of that is, it's like it's like a stone in your shoe.
Yep.
You've been walking around with it for a long time. And so again, it's that thing where there was this layer when it happened the first time, and you leaned in and jumped out and then reached out to support everybody else. And I hear you saying again tonight, and how do I reach out and support them? It's like, guess what? Do you want, like, you know how she can be? She can be kind of sarcastic. She said, you don't. You don't. This isn't the time for you to do that. This is the time for you to say to them, how can you help me? I have these plans. And then you ready for the toughest part of this?
Oh, no. Okay.
You have to trust.
Oh, you're mean.
Right? It's going to be it's a control-y thing of like, okay, so there are 5 individuals. Like, well, okay. They got really mad at me right there. Okay, so there are 5 individuals. Sorry, this is the other thing that happens when I start channeling. Sometimes other people's guides come in the room. It's getting really crowded in here, and all these guys are like, "What about us?" I'm like, "No, I'm talking about real, not that they're not real, living human being people." Okay, 5 of them, and a whole bunch of other people over here that want you to know they got your back. But what I'm saying is there are 5 pillars for you, and you just have to lean on them. You have to lean on them. You have to lean on them in a way that's like, it's not so much like, okay, if I have to, like, I'll just, I'll hold myself up 99% of the time, and I'll just give you a shoulder. It's like, no, you need to just collapse into that. Right? Does that, are you getting what I'm saying? So
Yep,
I'm literally saying, like, you need to trust that they're that strong, that you can put stuff down and they will pick it up. And then that's the tricky part. Then you have to stop looking.
Yeah.
You have to
Takes
stop.
drugs for that.
Fine. No. But really, so for you, when you ask, like, how do you get through this? You get through it by realizing that you've got this new layer to learn. And this, in a way, is going to may even be the harder part.
Yeah.
Which I know sounds kind of freaky, like, what? No, I think this is going to be the more challenging personally for you. Because like you said before, I don't have any doubt that you'll get out there and you'll do everything physically to take care of, energetically to take care of your own body and make that happen. And the biggest part is to know that you've got to lay stuff down and not pick it. Like, she's just like, don't pick it back up. You got to trust that you have done some great planning. You've put some amazing things in place. Your vision is really clear, and you're going to have to just let it go. So how does that land for you?
And it really rings true. I mean, it absolutely makes a lot of sense. Again, I think the powerful and incredible thing that you bring to this is the clarity of the disconnect of all those little pieces that feel really cluttered. So to be able to sort of spearhead, and I know that I have really incredible people in my world, and I realize that I'm coming into the the days leading up to this. And so trying to make sure that all the duckies are in a row so that I can do that. It's hard. It's absolutely hard, but I wouldn't be asking the questions if I didn't expect to have a hard answer.
Well, I appreciate you for your vulnerability and for sharing. Honestly, I know this is not necessarily probably your first choice as a platform to share that. And I want you to know from me personally, I send you nothing but love, but there's just no concern in my body for you. So I hope that helps in some way.
It does.
But know that in the meantime, just waves of love are coming at you. And I have no doubt that's going to continue from everybody that knows you and cares about you. And that's not what this is about.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the platform and the chance once again to, to work with you and to see this and to watch the way that you touch people and, you share stories in a platform like this. That's really profound and really incredible.
Oh, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And I'm excited for you to feel what it feels like to let all that go and really be in that space of complete reception.
That's going to be pretty amazing. Time to grow, little flower.
Yes, exactly. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
My pleasure.
Hang around because it looks like you should definitely read the chat log too, if you can see it, because there are lots of people sending you love.
Mwah. Right back at you.
All right. Wow. Okay. So one of the things I want to share with everyone is that this is, oops, wait, let's get you. Interesting. We're going to come back for some reason. Luna's not going away. Luna, we just want you to stay with us.
Apparently.
Then I'm going to hit that. Oh, maybe I have to do this. Hold on. I think I know what's going on. We're going to bring our next guest on really quickly, and I think that will solve our technical issues. Well, that's my hope.
Woohoo.
Or we're just sending Luna so much energy right now. We're saying no.
I'm just basking in it.
Ways. So I'm going to try something really quick here. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. So Cindy, who's our next guest, I sent you a message. It looks like it says it's notifying you and Luna's still here. So, hey, Luna, do you mind popping out and back in and see if that will fix our little
situation?
All
Absolutely.
right. I'm not kicking you out, I promise. Come back. All right. So with that, as we have this, we'll call it our break, right? I see a lot of people are here. So thank you so much for joining us here tonight. I want to kind of quickly remind everybody that's here that if you're watching us right now, you can go ahead and put a question for the Oracle in if you have your own question, and we will get to those at the end of the show. And don't worry if we don't get to your question. We'll also let you know how you yourself can be a guest on the show on one of our upcoming shows. As a way to kind of clarify that, with our shows that are coming up, we're going to be holding these shows every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. So you're able to come back and watch again, have another watch party. And again, speaking of watch parties, if you are on a watch party and you're enjoying what you're watching and you do have a question, the only way to ask it is to click on the link and get inside this room. So once you click on the link, you can actually ask us a question. And please know that we are holding space for everyone, and especially Luna, to get and receive the guidance in a way that allows them to heal and expand in all the ways that they are meant to expand. So I know that might have been something different than you expected when you came here. But the truth of the matter is, I believe in a holistic approach to our lives and our businesses. And I know that once our businesses are affected by our life or vice versa, having them in alignment is the best we can do to really have them stay strong. So I'm willing to answer those questions because I think that they come up on purpose. All right. And with no further ado, we're going to grab our next guest. I'm really excited. Cindy Lampert-Mannett is a phenomenal coach. She is a powerhouse. She is the Empress of Joy. And I'm excited to have her with us. Here she comes. Thank you so much for being here. She is an incredible, there she is.
There we are.
We got ourselves all back together. The universe is righted itself. So tell us, Miss Empress of Joy, what are you up to these days?
What am I up to these days? Well, For those who don't know me, I help cause-driven startups to create their community so that way they can build a movement solving some of the world's biggest problems. And I've been doing this for quite a while now, and I'm a community builder at heart. I love helping, change the world, change our communities, and yeah, and then thank you so much for bringing me on here, Leah, and the Oracle, of course.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that the cause base.
Yeah.
Because that I think is so important in our world. One of the cool things that someone asked me about the political climate one day, not too long ago. And I remembered that the download that I received about it, and the reason she asked me, how can I be so calm? And I said that, I got this great download from the Oracle that's just really playing out. And what it is that, I use the analogy of a wave going out, right? In like a tidal wave. And so when it goes out, all the underbelly is shown, everything is exposed, and then it comes back and it washes everything away. And what I see is there is this light bearing growth happening. Yeah. People are really looking at industries different. A lot of things are coming to light that need to become to light. And people like you are really making a difference in how we show up and how we do what we're doing. And that is that wave coming back of light to really heal ourselves, heal our communities, and really ultimately heal the world. So I am thrilled to have you with us tonight. And I know that you came eager. You came. Thank you, by the way.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Someone with a technical difficulty who could not be here tonight. And I reached out to Cindy, and she had mentioned she wanted to come on the show. And I said, by the way, could you come on tonight? So thank you for being here kind of last minute. I really appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing the links. And I think you have a watch party or link something. So please, again, if you're watching a watch party, please come in and join us so you can really get all of the full benefit of being here live with Cindy. And Cindy, what is your question for the Oracle tonight?
Thank you. So my question is, I'm trying to find clarity on, I guess, the next step for my business. As you know, I've been healing from this car accident for the past 5-6 months now, and I feel like my identity is shifting. Therefore, my business is sort of shifting, I sense, and I'm getting overwhelmed with the different types of, say, offers I can do, whether it's one-on-one, courses, or events. There's a lot of options right now that's coming into my, my field, but I don't know what's going to be the next right step. There's going to be the greatest ease, flow, and impact and income too. So, yeah.
Great. Okay. So just to confer that I actually got all of that. So it sounds like there are some opportunities for you right now. And what you're really looking for is, of those opportunities, which one might be the best for you to feel that ease and the flow of income. Okay.
Yeah. Ease is really important for me right now, especially for my body and for healing. But also I want to still be impactful in the world. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
she says right off the bat, Cindy, you breathe and you're impactful. So don't worry about that piece. For you to be wherever you go, you're going to be impactful. So there's a sense of no, really, she's you are you are impactful. That may have more to do with when you look at the options that are around you. If you feel like one is less, that doesn't have the impact. If that's the only thing, let me put it this way. If that's the only thing, if something is 99% aligned and that's the only thing you think is not there, that's because you're not there yet. Right? So when you get there, the impact comes with you. Right? So it seems like, do you have do you have an opportunity where you would be working not so much as an entrepreneur, but almost like a partner or a not even a contractor, but more like a partnership or an affiliate for someone or something of that nature?
When you say that, like, it's been in my heart for the past, I would say 8 months now, that I do want to collaborate and partner with someone. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
don't like to be alone, and I know that I'm a generator, and I could do things, and I want to do this with somebody by my side
Right.
who can create a global impact together, grow an amazing community, and change the world. You know, and I want to co-create that with someone, or collaboration or something like
Yeah,
that.
that makes a lot of sense. And it almost leans towards this person may not realize that they can make an impact with what they're doing. And so it feels like you're bringing that piece in to it feels more like a partnership of so I'm asking because I wanted to say event related, event space, kind of a thing, but it's either somebody that already has like a location and they're just not utilizing the space or utilizing their opportunities.
Okay.
Just hitting something. It's like it's I get like you go there and you're like, like why can't they just X?
Do I know this person already?
I feel like you do. I feel like you've either been there before or you know of them.
Is this in like the
It's a
same
place.
niche?
It
The
feels
same
like
niche, maybe?
no, I think it feels like I'm seeing a place. I'm seeing like a okay, I'm gonna say this and I'm just gonna say this because I know Cindy enough that I know what she does. So I want to just kind of for authenticity say that I am saying this because it's what I'm seeing. And I'm also not sure if I'm just saying that because I know who you are, but I'm seeing this like giant ski lodge.
Oh, snaps.
So
Okay.
but it's like to me, I don't know. I don't know what giant this, but it seems really like cute. Like there's lots of rooms there. It's like a lodge, like it's big. And so it feels like either so that's why I'm like, I'm not sure if you've really been there before, or maybe you're like, it's on your list of going there.
Interesting.
But and it's here, which means it's not really come into. So I would say you haven't really been there because it's here, which means it's kind of in your sphere, but it's not on your path yet. So I would think it's not someplace you've been, but it's something that either you've maybe seen it before or heard about it before. You will recognize it, the space, when you see it. And yeah, just going back to the whole idea of your impact is the thing that they're missing. So like when you show up, what's up? What's
I'm just wondering, like,
where it is.
I guess, like, yeah. What's my next?
Yeah. So,
like,
so then your other question, your kind of part B was what's your next step? So just to clarify, so the thing that she's showing me is it is definitely feels like a partnership. That's why I was like, it wasn't like it was showing me like when I see org charts, like where people belong, like you were more side by side than below anybody. And yet as there was a sense that you might walk right past it because there's nothing of impact happening now. So
interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Except that what she's saying is you're going to have this thought. So there's not a win. Go see a bunch of ski lodges. I don't know, right? But it's this thing that she's just saying. When you hear yourself say, they could have such a bigger impact if they X'd, right? That's probably that's that like red light to you that's the thing to go digging into more.
Okay.
Do you know people that own?
I don't know anyone that owns a ski lodge.
No, you sure about that?
I think so. I mean, I've gone.
Well, here's a question.
Places, but I don't know the person that owns it. You know.
Well, so I would probably ask your network who they know who owns a ski lodge. If you're asking for a next step, that would be my suggestion. That's from me.
Dang.
And I don't even know if I would say it's a ski lodge. I would just say like a really big event space. Like it's the reason I see it as a ski lodge. It's literally this white building. It kind of reminds me of, and I didn't even see the movie, The Shining building. You know what I mean? The movie from the movie from The Shining.
I have no idea.
It's not a ski lodge. So it's not. So if you want to go watch, like look up some, you'll see the picture of it. But it's like a big white building with wood and beams and stuff.
If anyone listening to this hears what the Oracle is saying, give me if it sounds like something you know of, let me know.
I wouldn't. I mean, that can't hurt. I was just like, I'm looking. If anybody knows of a space, but I mean,
I'm a hot.
The thing is, she keeps sending back to, because I'm like, well, what else can we tell you? I think it's just this great thing where you can, yes, you'll know it when you see it. I don't know how else to say that except that that's what's coming through, and that you can just start by knowing. Yeah. So the first part is to know that you're gonna be a partnership. So almost it's like anything that comes up right now that's not about that is a no.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like if it's not about partnership, then it's a no. Because when you had said that earlier, I got the full body flesh, and I already kind of had tapped into that. That for you, it's not being so low anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not being under someone.
Right.
So if you look at the opportunities that are coming up and that's not there, then at least you know that's a no. And then I would just keep putting your feelers out for someone that has, you might just say that, like a lodge. I called it a ski lodge. She didn't call it a ski lodge. And I'm very clear for everybody who's watching this. And as you're watching this and you're like, what? I called it, Leah called it a ski lodge because that's what it reminds me of.
Got it.
It may just be some huge event space that looks like a ski lodge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's possible. So you could say that as you're reaching out to people, like, do you know somebody that has like this big event space that's almost like a ski lodge, and then see what happens, because it feels like it's like, again, it's right here, so it's not too far out of your sphere. And if you keep putting the feelers out, you'll probably, like I said, walk right past it. So just be aware when you see something that feels like that. And your sense about it is it's a place where you can make an impact. Like by what it's the thing about making an impact. It's like there's the potential for however they're set up or where they are, that it could be so much bigger, but they're not doing that. Right. You can kind of see it as soon as you see it. You look at it and you're like, oh, well, they should just blah, blah, blah. And this would be fixed. Got it. Not even fixed. It would be like so much more impactful.
Got it.
I know.
Wow.
I'm like,
okay.
well, so we never know what the Oracle is going to bring to us. And I hope that at least with a couple of those pieces, you can start with knowing, sometimes knowing what's a no is helpful too. Does that feel right? Yeah. So when you look, let me ask you this, as you look at the things that you thought about before we started talking, do any of those now go away? Like, do any of those not fit anymore? The opportunities?
It doesn't feel like it doesn't spark joy. You know?
Oh, this concept doesn't spark joy?
No. The other things that were presented to me before that I've been meandering over the different options. I know I could probably make income from it, but it doesn't spark that joy. You know what I'm saying? Anymore.
Yeah. Well, and that's great, because the thing is, right now for you, all of this work you've done to heal from the accident and get back into working and doing something again, all of that was building you to this place where you could say, look, it's a sense of like, I didn't give up 8 months of my life to go backwards.
Right.
Yeah. So, I think that right now, the next step, like I said, is as things come to you, just holding that ground and then reaching out towards opportunities where you can partner with people. And I think that piece of, I don't want you to get distracted by the whole ski lodge thing. So just be clear. If it's not a ski lodge, don't worry about it. But I think the biggest piece of that is when somebody presents something to you and they don't even see their own impact that they could be making, that's kind of the thing to look for.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? It's like more like that than the actual.
I see that a lot.
Building. Yeah.
I see that a lot in various people, especially in my life right now. I mean, like, I know they can make an impact, but they don't quite see it yet, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's something about a space though. So they have a space that they're not utilizing or, you know, whatever that is. And that you can kind of create that momentum.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Right.
Thanks, Leah. Thanks, Oracle. Yeah. And hopefully this was helpful for the viewers watching as well.
Yeah. Well, and thank you for being here. And I just, you know, want to add to everyone that's watching. This is the beauty of this work sometimes as a channel is that I am okay being wrong. And I will always say, like, that's my interpretation of what I'm seeing. And what I know and I trust is that you'll see something and it will make sense to you. It doesn't have to make sense to me. So that's why I'm really careful. And so if anybody who's watching this is like, oh, well, you know, in 6 months when Cindy pops on and says, hey, I'm in this new gig and I'm doing this here. And she's standing in front of a building and you're like, well, that wasn't a ski lodge. It's like, okay, like, let's just all agree. It doesn't have to be a ski lodge.
Yeah.
And more important that the other pieces really that are most important to you are there. Deal?
Deal.
And definitely let us know if it is a ski lodge because that's fun too. All right.
I will let you know.
All right. So now, as I promised, we've got a few minutes left. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to all of my guests for showing up, for participating, for being so incredibly vulnerable and honest and real. And I hope that if you haven't already heard your message for them, that if you have a question, you've posted it in the comments. Excuse me. And if you have, in a moment here, we're going to go ahead and start taking those questions and they're going to come on the screen. When they come on the screen, we'll go ahead and as the Oracle, we'll just go ahead and ask the Oracle. So this is the time where we're going to do Ask the Oracle. So if you're here and you've already asked a question, my assistant Jen will be posting that on the screen in a moment. And I will do my best to answer as many as I can before our time is up, which is coming quickly. So if you haven't answered yet, or you're still thinking about your question, now's the time. And if you're outside in a watch party, thank you so much for watching us. But if you want to ask a question, you have to click on the link so you can be inside the live room. So I'm going to look and see if we've got anything going on here yet. I don't see anything yet. Another thing that I want to share with everybody, because Luna had mentioned earlier, and this is that idea and the concept of having space. Oh, great. We have our first question. So let's go with that really quickly. Now, here's the kicker with these questions. You guys are going to see me with my glasses on. So there you go. The Oracle wears glasses. Ta-da. All right. Because, of course, I want to read the question, right? All right. So I am going to say it's Javon, and I hope that's correct. Does the Oracle know what practice I can do to increase inertia? I'm slow, which is horrible for business. Oh, all right. So increase inertia. What a wonderful way to phrase that. First of all, I was like playing with that in my head. So Javon, I'm wanting to double check when you're saying increase inertia. My understanding of that phrase, and this may be technical, is that inertia is the body not in motion. So how do we increase inertia? I am so slow, which is horrible for business. So when you're talking about being slow, are you talking about physically, or that business itself is not as brisk? So it feels like that might be a communication between you and I. But so Javon, if you're here and you're live to answer that, you can answer in the comments. In fact, I can go peek really quick here. If you're still here, thank you. Correct, he said. Okay. All right. So, wait, it looks like there's no reply. Okay. The first thing that comes to me, Javon, is that being like, this is weird. She's showing me like busy. I don't know if you're being busy doing work that like is literally like busy work. So if you're spending a lot of energy or time doing things that are keeping you busy, this is what she's showing me. Yes, I'm physically slow. It just takes so long to get moving. Okay. So it feels like, I'm getting the sense that you're feeling like everything is taking so long. Like it's all just like busy work. And so, two things are coming up. One is whether or not, and I don't know, again, this is a live reading, so I'm not sure, but if you have assistance, like physical assistance, that rather than working on the work, you work on the process. So there's like putting down the pieces of the process so that you can have assistance physically. So I'm not sure if that's possible or not. But it feels like there's work that you're trying to do physically, that if you were to spend time writing those steps down and maybe finding someone who has the physical prowess to manage that may help you to kind of get momentum. So she's showing me the momentum would start to grow. The other thing though, with being feeling physically enabled, I don't want to say you're not, but feeling that way. Sometimes I think that going back to that first image of like the busy work stuff, sometimes if you take some of that out of the mix, you'll have more time. Because what I'm really hearing is it's like you have a lot of little things happening that are slowing you down, like they're cluttering up your time. So if there are things you can let go of that way, that might give you more space to do it at your own pace. So those are the things, like, so removing any busy work, creating like some structure, and then having, if you need physical help with that, having some structure help, and or getting rid of enough busy work that you have space to go at your own pace. All right. Thanks so much for the question. All right. I think we have time for at least one more. So if we've got another question, we'll go ahead and pull that up. Also, just as we're waiting for that question to switch, I wanted to remind you, as I was saying earlier, we are doing this every Wednesday. So I know we've got a couple minutes left, and if you've been waiting a while and you want your question answered, please be sure to check the chat log, because we're going to show you how you can get your questions answered and be a guest in our studio audience or a guest on the screen at one of our upcoming shows. Great. Awesome. Here's another question. Hi, Shannon. Thanks for being here. Shannon said, any clues about my physical health challenges right now? Seem to be having various pains of late and feeling tired of it. So I'm going to ask you a question. I know you're here, Shannon, because I can see you just asked that question. So Shannon, in your question of physical health challenges right now, I'm going to ask a question just to clarify. And that is, are these, I feel like they're not known challenges. Is it kind of a general malaise? Does that sound right? I don't know if that's the right word, but it feels like what I'm getting is, like almost an unknown cause. Yeah. You're saying a clue of physical health challenge right now. It doesn't seem, I guess what I'm getting is it doesn't seem to be a acute issue. And I feel like part of that is more of a malaise. So it's more of an overall system, physical system, being worn down. Thank you, Libby Peace. So Shannon, can you confirm whether or not you feel like, are you having acute pain, or are you having not right now, some specifics, but general acupuncture scheme. Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to actually show this message so people can see her reply. Maybe I am. There we go. So she's saying not right now, some specifics beginning acupuncture. Okay. So there is the sense I'm getting for you, Shannon, is that there is a general overall health. I don't want to call it issue. So the word she just keeps coming up with is malaise. And right behind that, I'm getting this weird thing about like a homesickness, a heart heaviness. So I don't know. I would say that it's kind of the physical manifestation of that. And there is some general like health ramifications that are happening behind which there's this almost, I feel like a hollow in your heart. So I don't know whether there's a separation from it feels like a place, like a homesickness is the word that keeps coming. So the suggestion really, I think, is that you're obviously doing the right path by going to a doctor. And just so everybody knows, I believe in doctors. I think we are all here on purpose. And that includes, the really many, many great, wonderful doctors that are out there, both natural and Western medicine. So I think it's important to, as I like to say, treat yourself with any tools you need, including, if you've got a headache, take the aspirin and go meditate. Like both things are good. So I think you're doing that piece right now, it sounds like, with the acupuncture and the MD. And I might recommend, yes, heavy heart is right too. Okay. I might recommend talking, so I know you like to write. I know we've talked before. So I would recommend writing a conversation with that, right? Tapping into that, what that heaviness is about. I think that doing both of those things together will help lift some of that energy and will bring you some clarity, it sounds like too. So that's my suggestion for you, is to really look at how you can speak to that part of yourself that is feeling heavy in the heart, and take the necessary steps to take care of your body too. All right. Thank you so much. What a great question. All right. Well, guys, that was it. That's all the time we have for questions tonight. I do want to wrap up on time because I said we'd be done at 7 and it's 7:02. But I do want to let you guys know that you can absolutely find out more about how to get on the show at OracleLiveTV.com, which is going to come on the screen, I hope. So that is where you can actually sign up and register to be a guest on our next show. Thank you all so much. Thank you again for my guests for being here. Thank you to Cindy and Luna and Lindsay. Again, if you've been watching, make sure you check out Lindsay's information that she should have put in this chat log, and keep your eye on your chat, because if you didn't get to answer your question today live, then we will give you some information about how you can do that next time. All right. Thanks everybody for joining me. I really appreciate you. I am so blessed to be able to share the Oracle gift with you. And I hope that tonight you found some insight or some knowledge, or at least a little hope in this great impact we can make when we are on purpose. Thanks so much. I'm Leah Dunlap, Oracle on Purpose, and this is Oracle Live TV. Bye now.